Hi everyone, happy Friday. Merlin and I are out here on the porch today. Went out for our walk this morning. It's 86 with a 94-degree heat index, but there's a nice breeze blowing right up here. And we had 2 police cars sitting out in the big parking lot on our way to the open grass area where we go walking. And we've had we don't have a dumpster, we have what they call a compactor, where you put the stuff in and you push a button and it compacts it into a big thing. And it's been broken for quite a while. They haven't had it fixed. And so they've had open dumpsters down there. And they haven't gotten rid of the trash and stuff when the compactor broke. So there's tons of trash piled 30 miles high down there. And today's hot, and there's trash in the dumpster, and still the old trash from about almost 4 weeks ago sitting still where the compactor is. And they brought some other thing, which I think they're going to change the compactor out maybe this weekend or by the first of the week, because it looks like a piece that goes in there that's part of the compactor thing. And they spilt water or something down there, and it stinks, and the wind is blowing. So I'm glad that our apartment is up here and not down there, because it stinks. Yes, it stinks really bad. Let me turn this so you can see your buddy Merlin. There's Merlin, kind of walking around. He was laying down a few minutes ago. There, he's going to lay back down again. He got up to sniff something in the air. But, oh, thank God we do not smell that nasty smell up here. We walked past it to go, we're over in the open area where he goes potty, and Mother gets one of the little bags and picks up his little poo-poo. And he didn't have to poo-poo today, he just pee-peed everywhere. If he has to, he'll do it on his pad later in the house. He has little pads that he goes on when we have bad weather or Mother's not feeling up to it when the cold weather sets in and her legs hurt. So he's potty paper trained for those little pads. So that's a good thing for Merlin. And we're hoping everybody is out there having a good Friday, planning some good things for the weekend. I think that Papa Doolittle and I are going to go take a road trip up into Kentucky. And I've been just watching some different cool little videos on the little TikTok. Been watching this lady from Andalusia, Alabama. She's an older lady. I would think she's a little bit older than I am. I'm 59, and I think she's in her mid to late 60s. And she's been baking different things and cooking different things. And I can cook most of the stuff she's already been cooking, except I've never made biscuits before. And a bunch of her followers were making fun of me because she left the flour in the bowl and didn't tell us what she did with the rest of the flour, because she dumped an entire bag of white lily flour in a bowl and made what she called a bird's nest, and I know what that is, where she hollowed out the bottom of the bowl, and then she put her shortening and her buttermilk down in there and made, the dough, and then took the dough out and put it on the board and floured it and rolled it out and cut out her biscuits with I think a little can thing or something, and put them on her pan that she was going to put in the oven and make the biscuits. And then didn't tell us what she did with the rest of that flour in that bowl. And I went and said, well, what is she going to do with that flour? Because it's been contaminated with the Crisco stuff that she used and buttermilk. It's been contaminated. And somebody said, well, she's just going to put a cloth over it and put it in the cupboard and either make more biscuits tomorrow or in a few days or whenever she makes biscuits again. And I'm going, that's gross, because it's been sitting around. And I don't know about leaving flour that has had stuff in it sitting around. And somebody else said, well, you can put a lid on it and leave it like that. Now that I might see. And then somebody else said, well, that's what the sifting for, to keep to get rid of the bugs. And I'm like, why would White Lily sell flour with bugs in it? And then I Googled to find out, because I do know you sift flour. I never knew exactly why you sifted the flour, because I don't bake cakes or anything like that. And it was self-rising flour. And it said, Google told me that you sift the flour to get the lumps out of the flour. It said nothing about getting bugs out of the flour. So I didn't like that kind of smart answer from that woman. You know, I was trying to get legitimate answers as to why you were just going to put a towel over it after it had been contaminated with oil and buttermilk. But anyway, I could see putting a lid over it, but then I would have put it in the refrigerator because it had been contaminated with other stuff. I could see if it hadn't had the stuff in it, then you could leave the flour, you know, in a container on the counter. But if any of my little doolittles out here have a better answer for me as to what's going on with all this stuff, and you've made bread or biscuits or whatever, you know, and you make this entire dump of a 3 to 5 pound bag of flour into a bowl like that, and then do something with it after you've dug your little hole and made your biscuits, please let me know in a nice and considerate manner as to what you do with the contaminated flour afterwards, because as far as I'm concerned, it's been contaminated. It's not that it's contaminated where you can't use it again, but you just don't leave it laying out, because it's had oil and milk, which needs to be refrigerated, in it, and I just don't think you should be sitting it back out on the counter. So if all of you want to give me some tips in a nice and considerate manner and not make me feel like I'm the lowest peg on the floor, I would appreciate it. I'm sorry, but some of those comments that I got were awfully rude and made me feel terrible. For the lady being so nice that was cooking, some of her followers are awfully nasty. So I would appreciate some nice, kind answers as to why the flour could stay out like that, because I'm not a biscuit maker. And I'd like to try to make biscuits and follow her little thing, but then I wouldn't know what to do with that flour, because I wouldn't be making biscuits every day. I would make them maybe for a Sunday, and then I would have all that flour left over and not know what to do with it, and maybe till the next Sunday. So this is Dr. Doolittle signing off for today. I hope you all, like I said, have a good rest of this Friday and have a good weekend. And Merlin and I love you all, and we're going to go back inside. Bye-bye.